I get so many messages from single successful women from all over the world all the time, really asking how can they make an interested man commit to them? Because what normally happens is they attract a lot of uninterested men into their life. And then, of course, they half commit, they play games, and then make the woman second guess herself and question herself and really lose herself in this whole dating scenario. So today we're going to talk about how interested men commit much faster to women who understand these 5 secrets. Now, in this video, you will discover how to actually behave, right? How to actually show up, what to actually amplify when you show up on a date, because you have all those parts inside of yourself. But what happens is you tend to lead with certain aspects, but not with others. So we're going to dive into which ones I recommend leading with, so that the interested men, which of course sort themselves out, commit much faster without you having to waste so much time. I'm of course your host, Antia, founder and creator of the Magnetize Your Man method. And this is the channel where we magnetize your man so that the man you want, desires, and pursues you forever. Now, of course, make sure to subscribe to the channel as well. Click that, hit that bell button as well, and for more incredible free videos coming your way. So let's go ahead and dive right into the 5 signs that men wish you knew so they can commit to you even faster. Number 5 is he loves tension. So what we women normally do when we go on a date, we try to remove tension. We actually don't want to be in the tension, because the tension is not only uncomfortable inside of our own body, but also it's uncertain. So if you have an anxious attachment style, or if you have any kinds of wounds around that, you will avoid uncertainty as much as you can. However, men who are really interested and secure, they feed off that tension because it creates attraction. It creates intrigue. It creates curiosity, right? It's like, oh, I never had that cake before. What's that all about? Oh, I didn't expect that kind of dressing on that salad. That's something different. And then also, it really creates a playful dynamic between the two of you. So it allows you to be actually in different kinds of energies throughout the date. Now that leads me to number 4, which is you change his state. Look, what happens is the man makes a decision whether he wants to see you again or not, whether he wants to commit to you or not, based on if he has experienced a state change. So in other words, does he feel different after the date in a good way than he felt before the date? If he feels like, oh, I feel the same way, nothing has really changed. As a matter of fact, now I'm actually confused. Now I'm actually unclear. That's not the kind of state change I'm talking about. But I'm talking about a state change that oh, there was something surprising. And not because you played any games, but because you showed up who you were authentically. Because Don Miguel Ruiz actually says, we are the unknown to ourselves. So if we show up authentically, and really authentically, not performing, not showing up the way our mom taught us to show up or Cosmopolitan taught us to show up, but actually to show up exactly who we are, we create naturally a state change. Another way how we create a state change is by understanding that we have different energies inside of ourselves. So if we increase our emotional range, our range of our archetypes inside of ourselves, our way to relate to men, then he will also experience a state change because you will bring out a different energy inside of himself. So for example, if you normally show up on a date and you're in your what I call the warrioress, right? You're most likely going to relate to him, to his warrior. So you're going to talk about work and then he's going to talk about work. So he's going to leave the date and he's going to be like, yeah, whatever. It was pretty nice. It was pretty informative. But if you, let's say, touch into your lover, which is very sensual, very slow, it's a little bit edgy. So you could just be even tapping into your little girl, out of the sudden you bring out the wild man. There's something embodied in the man. Or you bring out the king and you actually, wow, like he actually looks into the future and he actually wonders what it would be like to protect you more regularly. That's what I'm talking about when I say state change. Now, if you like this content, please give it a thumbs up, share it with a girlfriend, and of course, subscribe for more great future videos coming your way. Another thing that's really important for you to know so that interested men commit even faster is don't accommodate. It's a very common misunderstanding that women actually think, oh, I have to accommodate him. It's not uncommon that I see lots of text messages where I see that a man is maybe sharing like a vulnerable, a challenging experience, and that the woman immediately accommodates him, right? And men actually want to solve the problem for themselves. What they want to hear is say, I believe in you, babe. You got this, right? Versus actually going into accommodation mode, into problem solving mode for himself, which of course decreases his sense of masculinity because it's kind of like you're solving the problem for him. Another way how you do this is because you lay down like a doormat and you're like, oh, I can drive to you, you can drive to me, we can meet halfway, I can pick something up. So you give him all the options and he doesn't really deserve it. And honestly, he doesn't really want that because he doesn't really feel like you're respecting, you're honoring yourself. So he doesn't really feel like you're a prize, like you're actually holding yourself to a standard. And he will start wondering and questioning, did I make the right decision? Like, is that really the kind of woman that I want to be with? Is she like so easy to just give all of her power away? And then also, he will not trust you, which leads me to number 2. He loves authenticity. So let me give you an example. So often when women go on a date, as a matter of fact, one of my favorite questions is, if I was the mouse in the wall or the monkey on the roof, so to say, when you go on a date, what would I actually observe? And what I normally would observe is some way of people pleasing, of over talking, of controlling the conversation, because you simply don't even know how to relate to the man. You don't even know who you are authentically. You have created this persona meaning mask, so that you can control the perception that the man has of you. However, this is very artificial and this does not lead to a deep connection. Rather, it leads to disconnection and, in a worst case scenario, even lack of trust. Now, when a man doesn't trust, he will not commit because he will not feel safe. So let me give you another scenario. So now you go on a date and let's say you feel a little insecure, a little scared, a little anxious. What he actually wants you to know is that he loves however you feel. Where he gets challenged is that when you actually deny that feeling, if you judge that feeling, if you try to hide that feeling from him, that's when he was like, wait a minute, why is she doing that? But if you're just like, wow, I'm feeling a little discomfort, which leads me to the tension conversation we had earlier on. Now what happens is you allow the emotion to have an impact on the man. And it's going to cause a state change because guess what? Women are not always admitting that. Now, it's really important to come from an authentic place. So a couple of things that I did a few years ago is I actually told a man who sent me mixed signals. I will do a whole video on mixed signals, why men send mixed signals. He sent me mixed signals and I just eventually had coffee with him. And I just told him that I was attracted to him. That's it. No laughters, no explaining why, right? Just letting it land that I was attracted to him. Yeah. Do you feel uncomfortable? Do you feel the shame? Do you feel the level of inadequacy inside of your body? Yeah, absolutely. But you know what? He was so moved. He was so touched. He literally had like tears in his eyes. And he said, like, he never had a woman be that authentic. Now, does that mean, like, I want you to now run to the next guy and tell him that you're attracted to him? No, because it was important that I did it from a place of openness. I stayed open, right? I stayed congruent inside of myself versus collapsing and say, oh, just kidding, just kidding. Actually, you know what I mean? Well, or you're totally right. Oh my God, I should, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. No, I was totally stay open while I was communicating that. That's what men absolutely love. And if you want to learn more about how to show up authentically, how to own all of your emotions unapologetically, then join my free masterclass at mymclass.com. And number one is he loves confidence. Now, you've seen this before, and I'm not just talking about external confidence, knowing how to present yourself, knowing how to show up, but also internal confidence. And what that actually means is to relate to your vulnerabilities in a confident way. In other words, he wants you to be secure in your insecurities. So if you are insecure around your anger, like he actually wants you to own it when you're angry, when you're upset, without apologizing, moving it fully through your body. Because when he feels that congruency, he will literally propose to you. This is exactly true story, happened to me the night before my husband proposed to me. I was the biggest biatch on the planet, total rage monster, but I moved it authentically through my system. I did not apologize. I totally owned it. And of course, to my massive surprise, as a matter of fact, I was leaving my body actually when my husband proposed to me. And not like that I passed out, but I was pretty close to that. He proposed to me, right? So expect the unexpected when you are actually showing up with confidence. And lastly, for those of you who stayed until the very end, special bonus, he wants you to feel safe and secure, which leads a little bit back into how to feel secure in your insecurities, right? It's not just like externally, like I feel safe, I feel secure, but also internally, right? It really means like when he doesn't call you right away, that you find a way to resource yourself, right? Or when one of your insecurities is triggered and you could abuse that power towards him and emasculate him, you actually anchor in feeling secure, not needing to get that sense of safety and security from emasculating him. So this is like really powerful. So this is it for today, ladies. If you haven't watched so already, when a man deeply loves you, he will start saying these 5 things. Lots of love to you. And of course, if you want to take my free quiz, hop on over to mymquiz.com so you get the right man for you into your life. Take care. Bye-bye.